Thank you, Mr. Chairperson, Program Director. It gives me a great pleasure today that we gathered at this spectacular event. And may I take this opportunity, Honorable MEC, Tait Mahwe Laos Mamiki, Executive Chairman of SOSOL, a father, a brother, Mr. Maurice Radebe, and the Executive Chairman of EduSciMed, our sponsor of the foundation, distinguished guests, Mr. Silman, and many others that are still on their way, Professor Majosi. We want to take this opportunity to welcome you. And I just want to quickly go through the vision of the foundation, because it is very much important to know what the foundation is comprised of. But because of time, I need to say that the vision is actually to ensure sustainable, innovative interventions that are aimed towards or geared towards positive transformation of disadvantaged communities. And our emphasis is around innovation and in making as we were discussing just earlier on, that there are a number of interventions that have been there for a number of ages and years, but there's a challenge around sustainability. And that the Eagle Foundation is of the view and seeks to come up with interventions that would ensure that there is sustainability. But also there are certain strategic objectives that I will just talk about. One of those being to promote the prioritization of maths and science and technology. And we are saying that in the agenda of education, in the agenda of teaching the different subjects that are out there, we are saying that maths and science, it's a very critical and a very important subject that need to be prioritized. And I just want to share here an experience of my friend whose name is Juk. And this, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, is a true story. In the late 80s, when I was in Glen Thomas, now that is a rest that is attached to the hospital. And when in order to go out of that place to the taxi rank, we would walk via the hospital. And I met this friend of mine. Now this is a guy that I have been with at school during primary, and who we used to compete very much in class. We would either become position number 1, but from time to time I would become 2, 3, and 4. But he was very consistent in the position, and he excelled in mathematics. But it was interesting that on this particular day, as I was walking, and I met this guy, he comes to me, clad in the hospital stripes uniform. And he greets me, and then, because I was in a hurry, I just greeted, and from there he followed me. And when he says, "Pidos," I realized the guy knows me. And when I looked at him, I could not recognize him. And he says, "Ngujuk Brayam." And I said, "What happened to you?" And he was so deformed in his face. And Juk says, "I was hit, uting shaiswe, amash." And this is in the township. And I'm talking about someone that was so good in maths, in almost all subjects. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to help me understand why Juk, instead of being involved in the invention and advancement, the invention of aeroplanes, Gautrain, and other forms of transportation, that he gets hit by a horse. And help me understand why he got deformed. And I know from you sitting here, you can bear witness that there are a number of people at school that you've been with that have been doing so well, and that most of them, they could not make it. And the Eagle Foundation, we are saying that it is important that we come up with ways and means that will make sure that we do not necessarily need to import. We are saying there are a number of Juks out there, and many others that have the potential, but if not afforded the opportunity, they will not be able to. And the second objective is we are saying that there's a need to establish coordinated network of strategic partnerships. And one of the reasons why we're here and having this kind of a roundtable session today is to seek to forge partnership with relevant stakeholders. And we believe that the solutions of this country in terms of education, it warrants different departments, government, the private sector, NGOs, faith-based institutions, and many others coming together to come up with solutions that will make sure that we have sustainable interventions. But the third objectives, I'm not going to be long with the remaining 3 minutes, is to enhance the capacity of teachers to improve the quality of teaching and learning in schools. We have teachers that teach in order to impart knowledge, but we have teachers that teach in order to educate you. There's teaching for the purpose of making sure that you get the information. And some of these teachers, whether you get wrong and whatever happens to you, they have done their part. They have rendered their lessons. But we have those that make sure that while teaching, they make sure that you get educated. And those are teachers that when you have written something wrong, and I think you will agree with me that there was no test or no exercise that I remember in our times that we will write and do not have corrections. And I want to believe it is still so, Mr. Silman. But teachers who want to educate you is a teacher that when you've written, and there is a story that says someone had written a sentence and they were using the word put, but they had asked them to write it in the past tense, and they had written, I have put a book on the table. And because he got wrong, this teacher was calling him, and he asked him, and he said, what went wrong? What do you think made you to get this wrong? And he says, no, I can see, Meneer. My mistake is that I've put it where I'm supposed to put. And so we are saying we need forms of teaching that makes you learn and realize the mistakes that you have made. And so in our endeavor to enhance the capacity of teachers to improve the quality of teaching and learning, the foundation is a fast-growing. I think it will be completing its year, if I'm not mistaken, around April, thereabout. And this comes as a CSI of EduSciMed, a company that is involved in the education sector, that is planning and rolling out a number of interventions in the forms of mathematical math labs as well as science labs. And may I also take this opportunity to thank EduSciMed and the chairman, and all acknowledge the presence of management from EduSciMed. But I also want to acknowledge one of our sponsors, NIT, who is also a partner, an international partner to EduSciMed, who is a sponsor of this brainchild of EduSciMed. And the fourth strategic objective is to enable the unleashing and nurturing of young talent. And we are saying that there is a number of young people out there who have the talent, who have the potential like Juk, but there's a need to incentivize them to come up with bursaries, to come up with schemes that will help, and I know that the department is very passionate about that, and that the foundation has in its agenda a plan, and in fact it has already started to avail such to identified learners. And the last is investing and prioritizing and providing support that is needed by society. Now, this is just an acknowledgement by the foundation to say that whilst our focus is on education, there's a plethora of research in social sciences and education that proves, that shows that there's a clear relationship between poverty and education. And that the founding says, to a meager extent, it sees a need from time to time to partner with various organizations. And we are cognizant of the fact that there are those that are charity organizations of mercy that would on a daily basis give young people food and so forth. But we're saying on certain occasions like Mandela Day and identifying certain, dedicating some time to making sure that we also make a contribution in changing the lives of many. Making sure that they get some shoes, making sure that we also demonstrate that there is a need and there's extent to which we can make a difference. I want to close on the note made by former President Nelson Mandela. Says, poverty is not natural. It is a man-made and can be overcome and eradicated by the actions of human beings. And we're saying that poverty is man-made. If we don't take care of the juke, the talented, those that have the potential out there, as a country, we have a challenge. And ladies and gentlemen, may I warmly declare this roundtable session, this function today, as officially opened. Thank you very much.
Ntate Mbuli ra leboha, siyabonga. Batho isikoko ekasi. The English equivalent, you are a legend, you are an intellectual, you are an orator. We thank you for this speech, and I would encourage private sector, government to make sure that they partner with the foundation. These are thought leaders when it comes to, maths and science issues. You reminded me during my grade 7 when you talk about, some of the teachers. When a teacher posed a question, a teacher said, what is the animal that likes to roam during the night? And the setup in the classroom, we find the youngsters in front, and I was one of those, and we used to call them perpetual learners, at the back, the oldies. One guy stood up, and the teacher said, what happened to you, Joe? You had Kellogg's this morning. Tell them. And then Joe said, it's a dog, sir. It's a dog. And the teacher said, good boy, my God, it is a dog. It is a dog. And the teacher posed another question, and he said, what is another animal that likes to roam during the night? And we're all quite like a church mouse. We're so serious as if we are baptized with a lemon juice. The same guy stood up, and the teacher said, what happened to Joe? Tell them. And then Joe said, it's another dog, sir, And I must say that the foundation, they don't provide another dog. They're creative in their thinking, they're lateral in their thinking, and they're innovative in their thinking. And they've created this platform that we are here to share best practices. Let me just take a commercial break before I could allow that person to switch off the phone. Let me take a commercial break. There was a tsunami somewhere, MEC. The tsunami destroyed the village, and then they went on an RDP, which is Reconstruction and Development Program. But they realized that to go zoo, they don't have enough supply of monkeys. to entertain kids. They went on a talent acquisition by a kokasi, they went in the township, and then they saw this young man, Peter, who was full of energy, rhythm, and flair. And then they said to this young man, do you need a job? This guy said, yes, I need a job. They said, no, don't worry, we'll dress you like a monkey, we'll teach you how to do things like other monkeys. As this guy was entertaining kids, moving from one leaf to another, and kids that kept on saying, Mama, we love this monkey. Monkey! Show them monkey. And this monkey, this boy was moving from one leaf to another. As this boy was about to grab the leaf, ladies and gentlemen, he missed the leaf, and then he fell on a den of lions. Remember, lions are not herbivores, lions are carnivores. As the lion was praying to God, oh Lord, for the food that I'm about to enjoy, I want to thank you. As the lion was moving gracefully to this guy, because this guy is not trained to cry like a monkey. Before this guy could say, Mama, yo! The lion whispered to this guy, said to, in English, it says, don't make a lot of noise. We are all here to make a living,